Tonight from Omaha Bryan High School, it's game time on the road for the YurView Game of the Week as the Omaha Bryan Bears play host to the Omaha Central Eagles. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Field Level. Along with John Schreiner, I'm Gary Sharp. Tonight's a very interesting game. Let's first start, John, with Central. They are 1-2 on the season. They're trying to get back to the glory of about a decade ago, but most importantly, get back to the playoffs for the first time since 2015.
Yeah, third head coach in as many years for the Central Eagles. A lot of roster turnover, a lot of coaching turnover, but Jay Landstrom really wants to return this program to its former glory, and that is the centerpiece of football in Omaha.
For Omaha Bryan, they're off to an 0-3 start, and it's another round of change with the Bears, but they believe they're headed in the right direction with their new head coach, Ryan Hansen.
Yeah, it's a very young roster. They got a new coach, new principal, new athletic director. It's all new here at Bryan, and they're a team that could really use a big win here tonight.
Both these teams are trying to stop a losing streak, and both of these teams rely heavily on the quarterback, especially Omaha Central.
Yeah, Omaha Central's Abraham Hoskins, one of the hottest recruits in the Metro. He's been a rising star for the last couple of years, headed to South Dakota State. He's a tremendous athlete, can run the ball, can throw it, and he's a lockdown corner.
Bryan has had trouble on offense, and they will be without their top running back, Jalen Walker, tonight, so more emphasis on the quarterback play.
Yeah, a sophomore at this position, really tough. He's got a big task ahead of him. His team looking for him for some major leadership out of such a young guy. He can come up with a big play or two. It just might spark this team.
Week 4, we're ready for kickoff. It's coming up next between Central and Bryan. It's game time on YurView.
Game time high school football action on YurView is presented by Iowa Western. The world is waiting. Connect online with Iowa Western at iwcc.edu or call 800-432-5852. High school football fans, for more behind-the-scenes coverage, podcasts, interviews, and more, be sure to check out YurView.com all fall long. Okay, player of the game.
Schedule your campus visit today. Iowa Western. The world is waiting.
Bears 0-3 make their way onto the field on an extremely windy Friday night, if you could tell there in the open. So wind will play a factor in this matchup between the 0-3 Bryan Bears back home on their home field against the 1-2 Central Eagles. Bryan, this school has a brand new principal, a brand new athletic director, and their head coach, and we will talk a lot about tonight, Ryan Hansen, was hired on the 4th of August. So it's a transition for the Bryan Bears, but they like where they're headed for the rest of this season and down the road. I'm Gary Sharp along with John Schreiner. Let's take a look at the keys for tonight's game. John, brought to you by Woodhouse Auto Family.
Well, got some keys for you ahead of this one. We begin with the visiting Central Eagles. On offense, I think the big thing here is deep ball awareness. Abe Hoskins has to be aware because I think the strongest unit for Bryan is definitely their secondary. They can and they have taken interceptions back to the house. He's got to be careful on those deep balls, especially in this wind. And on defense for Central, they just got to get after it. You got a sophomore quarterback, put some pressure on him, force some bad decisions, create turnovers, get ahead early. For Bryan, I think the key on offense is going to be clock control. Look, Central's got some dynamic playmakers that can get things done in space. The best way to neutralize them is to not give them the ball. Bryan can hold on to the ball for long stretches of time, it's going to be for the better. And on defense, contain, contain, contain. Hoskins, legit threat to run the ball. And the running back for Central, the Anthony Bridgeford jacket, loves to bounce runs to the outside, so those forced defenders have to be disciplined.
Sam Levy's kickoff, and he's one of the better kickers in the Metro, and he'll send it in the end zone for the automatic touchback. And we're going to look at this Bryan offense that put up 27 in the opener against South Sioux City, but they have only scored 13 points since, dropping contest to Omaha South and Lincoln Northeast. Bryan 0-3, last year 1-8. They are tonight without their top running back, Jalen Walker. He is out of the lineup. So it's an opportunity for Ryan Hansen in his first year. He's one of 3 first-year head coaches in Class A. He'll get a chance to look at a wide variety of players, but it starts as we profiled the sophomore in the opener with the quarterback, Toby Wingender. They run a spread offense, and they start on the ground for a couple of yards.
Well, like we've been talking about, Gary, this roster for Bryan is incredibly young. You're going to start a sophomore quarterback. You got a sophomore left guard. You got your wide receivers go senior, junior, freshman. Cole Rickley, one of those outside receivers, just a freshman, getting a start on varsity.
Chase Poquette, who is one of those sophomores, with the 2-yard carry. Ryan Hansen calls all of his own plays as the offensive coordinator / head coach, and so he signals them in. And first flag of the game, at the bottom of your screen, the wide receiver, Acavius Stewart, was a little bit anxious. This again is a Bryan team that they're taking little steps. Ryan Hansen is very optimistic. On second down, Moore, who's got great speed out of the backfield. And they keep it on the ground once again with Poquette, but he runs right into the waiting arms of Jake Frizzell. And it'll bring up 3rd down and long for the Bears.
Yeah, Frizzell's a big body in there on the inside. He's going to be tough to move out of the middle for this undersized Bryan offensive line. Biggest guy up front is the center, Carlos Bautista, at 260. And they go 240, 230, 220, 240 outside of him. So a little bit undersized up front. Big bodies in the middle are going to be tough to move tonight.
When we talk about Bryan making progress, Central feels real good where they're going. 2 years ago, they were 0-9, 3-6 last year, 1-2 this year. Close loss to Prep and a competitive game last week against Burke. 3rd down and long for the Bryan Bears, just underway. And direct snap to the quarterback, and it's a couple of yards, and it'll be third down or 4th down now for Bryan. Gonna look at the head coach of Central, Will Ladstrom, now in his 2nd year. And the Bears here on 4th and 11 will quick kick it. Winchinger, the quarterback, we almost had it blocked, and it'll roll and be downed out at the 41-yard line. So that's where we'll get to see this Central offense that is led by Abe Hoskins III, South Dakota State recruit, 2-way player, featured on YurView.com as he runs onto the field. He is one of the more talented athletes in the Metro. Comes from a great athletic family. We've been looking forward to watching him on display. He can throw it, he can run it. This is a wide open Central offense that has scored 90 points in 3 games. And they will run it on 1st down after a little toss from Hoskins. Bridgeford jacket down the sidelines, inside of the 10, spun out at the 1-yard line. Or they're going to say he stepped out before that, back at the 4, and just a simple play. Snap back to Hoskins. They kind of waited, but there is a flag down on the play. And I think we'll see a lot of that tonight. Just wait to see the blocking and how the defense sets up and develops, and then Bridgeford Jacket will use that great speed as you saw there on the outside, but it is all for naught. Dan Flynn, our white hat tonight, is bringing this one back.
Well, again, a couple of programs that are in the development stages of what they're currently doing, right? I mean, over the last 3 years, Central's had 2, 3, and 6 seasons with an 0-9 sandwiched in between. So, you know, while we've talked about the struggles that Bryan has and, you know, just getting kids to come out for football, down to 45 players on the roster tonight, this is a Central team that is still going through some growing pains as well.
Their goal is to make the playoffs. Bridgeford Jacket with another carry and another big pickup after the penalty. Wiped out a 36-yard carry. Here the senior gets it to the 36-yard line. First possession for the Central Eagles, who quite simply their goal, everyone will tell you, is to make the playoffs. The 1 and 2 and the 2 losses have been teams in the top 10. One of the oldest rivalries in the Metro, they lost by 4 to Prep, and then last week they were competitive before falling to Burke 34-17. Second down and 7. Bridgeford Jacket on a little toss from Hoskins. He has a first down and much more. Blocking downfield, reads it, and he's hauled down at the 5.
That's the same play that they ran on the first play from scrimmage that was called back for the penalty. It's just a little quick pitch out of the shotgun formation, and Bridgeford Jacket flashes the wheels. This is what he loves to do. If you watch him on tape, you'll notice, even inside runs, he loves to bounce it to the outside, find that sideline, use the speed downfield, work for him right there. Big first down pickup for Central.
He's also out of the backfield. They like to throw it to him. As Hoskins operates inside of the red zone and sticks with Bridgeford Jacket on the ground, and he'll weave his way into the end zone. And that was all the drive done by the senior.
Just kept it on the ground, kept it simple. Found the open holes, moved it right down the field after the short punt. It's a good start for Central.
And Bridgeford Jacket D'Anthony is in the end zone for the 4th time this year.
I got 11 as well.
And Sam Levy is on for the PAT.
Yes.
And the Eagles trying to snap that 2-game losing streak with a quick strike, and they lead 7-0. D'Anthony Bridgeford Jacket punches it in from 5.
Tonight's Game Time keys to the game are brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. For more high school action, be sure to check out YurView.com.
Shop Woodhouse Mazda today, where we make your Mazda buying process easy. Come in today and lease a 2019 Mazda CX-5 for only $359 per month. The all-new 2019 Mazda CX-5 comes equipped with premium features, including active driving display that lets you stay focused on the road and get you ready for your next adventure. Stop by our showrooms at 66th and L or our new location at 144th and Giles for your test drive today. And find your new 2019 Mazda CX-5 for your next adventure, delivering selection, service, and confidence. This is Woodhouse Mazda.
You're watching Game Time on YurView. For more in-depth coverage of the top players around, recruiting updates, behind-the-scenes access, and more, check out YurView.com.
Week 4 of the high school season, as you get a look at the Bryan Bears staff. The head coach Ryan Hansen was hired on August 4th.
Remind me again what day the season started?
Well, the season started shortly thereafter. Practice not very long after he was hired. He was an assistant at the defending Class A champion Omaha Burke Bulldogs. And Levy's kick once again into the end zone. That'll sound like a broken record tonight. He's got one of the best right foots in the Metro. 7-0 Central on the 5-yard touchdown run by D'Anthony Bridgeford Jacket, and this is the second offensive possession for the Bryan Bears.
Well, I think you can expect that Bryan's going to try and keep it simple. Going to keep it on the ground, probably mostly between the tackles. Might throw in a wrinkle of a short pass here and there with Wingender showing off the arm a little bit. But again, they've had very little time with their head coach. they probably aren't even done with offensive installation at this point in the season.
Also without the top running back, Jalen Walker, tonight. He's kind of a coach on the sidelines. They kept it on the ground, and Chase Poquette stopped after a yard. It's a non-district game in week number 4 of 9 regular season weeks. What a slate around the Metro tonight. We'll keep you updated on Bellevue West and Elkhorn South, and Millard West and Millard South. Last night, a thriller between Creighton Prep and Millard North. We'll see the Junior Jays next week, and they are 4-0. Came from behind, 3 scores in the last 13 minutes to beat Millard North. Westside Prep next week. Winginger with the carry for another yard. And Bryan here in the first quarter, they're going into that stiff wind. So that'll also play into Ryan Hansen's game plan as you get a look at the sophomore quarterback for Bryan. Everything is done by hand signals, and the young quarterback will check his wrist or knows the signal right away and repeats it. And it is 3rd down and 8 for the Bryan Bears.
Again, shotgun tight formation, keeping everybody in the box.
The pass is behind Poquette. It is a free ball. Poquette is on top of it. We're back at the 7-yard line.
Well, that was a play that was doomed from the beginning, Gary. If you watch, snap kind of bounces its way back to Wingander, and then he tries to still pull off the fake, and that's something he'll learn with some more experiences. When you're out of rhythm, just don't forget the fake. Just get the play to its intended target. He tried to still make that fake, and it just threw everything off.
So on 4th down, the quarterback is also the punter, and into that stiff wind with the regular center snapping in the football. The kick is right near the line of scrimmage, and this one will be down to the 25-yard line. And here comes the Central offense. And another issue, as John alluded to, and Ryan Hansen told us before the game, is as their numbers, they try and build the numbers up. They have a lot of players that go both ways. As a matter of fact, they have 8 players that start on offense and then also stay on the field for defense. And their defense, which allowed a 5-yard touchdown run by Bridgeford Jacket, is backed up once again. Zabe Hoskins starts this drive from the 25-yard line. And on the sweep, right into the hands of Isaiah Stennis. And he is tripped up inside of the 10-yard line.
Just running it every which way right now is Central, finding everything they need. Ball really never has to leave the quarterback's hands except to hand it off. And Stennis has a convoy out in front of him. He's just tripped up from behind by Tyler Moore.
Yeah, that's a convoy on that offensive line that starts 3 sophomores. Stennis is a sophomore. We'll take a look at a big left tackle, Deshaun Woods. And another inside handoff and another touchdown. Devontae Perry is into the end zone for his first score. And it is 13-0 in favor of the Eagles.
There's the big fella up front, paving the way for that touchdown.
Trey Nelson Beasley, he's one of those 3 sophomores that start on the offensive line. Levy is back out again. Try and make it 14-0. Short field for the Eagles. It hasn't taken them very long to go up by 2 scores. The PAT is up, and it is good.
Well, let's take a look at the touchdown again. Watch Nelson Beasley, 78, right left side of your picture, come around. Gets a body in there, seals it off. Make sure nobody coming back from the inside. Easy walk-in touchdown. Devontae Perry. That's the man of the moment. Abe Hoskins III. Tremendous athlete, three-sport athlete, great student. He go into pharmacy. One of the reasons he chose South Dakota State. There he is.
He played cornerback in Brookings.
Yeah, said that they gave him the option to try offense if he wanted to, but said he's content with playing defensive back, likes the defensive side of the ball, thinks it suits him. For that story I wrote on him, Gary, looked inside of some of the numbers over the last couple of years when he's been playing that cornerback position. You look at some of the better receivers in the Metro, Xavier Watts at Burke, Xavier Betts at Bellevue West. They have not had big days against Central. They have been shut down to some of their lowest receiving yardage totals and catch totals of the season. So he's a legit lockdown corner, Abe Hoskins.
Yeah, last week against Burke, Xavier Watts, who is headed to Notre Dame, not have much luck as Hoskins, whose half-brother is Deshaun Neal, who is a senior at Nebraska, senior defensive end, was a star at Omaha Central. Now Bryan has the football back, down a couple of scores. Again, not much on the ground. Central has 11 in the box.
Bryan's just shown no willingness to try and throw the football yet. So Central's going to keep sticking that safety up there, cramping everybody down. And I understand when you're a team that's, you know, still learning your offense, you want to keep it simple. But it's hard to run against a 9-10-man box, Gary. I don't care if you're the best team in the Metro. If you're running against a loaded box, it's still not going to be easy.
Central 1-2 on the year, trying to get back to the playoffs for the first time since 2015. Poquette in motion. Here's the pass to him. This time they connect. The previous one went behind him for a big loss, and this actually will be a loss of a couple of yards here, and it'll be another third down and long situation for the Bryan Bears. Shad Willis, junior cornerback, right there in the picture. Made the solo tackle.
Yeah, this wind is just not helping right now for a Bryan team that really needs to throw the ball a little bit and back the defense up. And the stiff wind in their face. Game couldn't have started much worse.
Three wide receivers to the left of the quarterback there on the top of your screen. And quarterback slips down. Wininger goes down at the 15. It'll be another fourth down. And the sophomore quarterback will punt the football once again.
Well, with these quick kicks, Gary, the only thing I can think of is that Bryant must be having some long snapper issues. So they're either going with the short snap on the punt to avoid some deep snap issues. And, you know, unfortunately, they haven't been able to punt this ball out of their own end just yet. And Central's capitalized a couple times.
Again, they are looking right into a 34-mile-an-hour wind as another quick kick will go for 15 yards and another short field for the Central offense that only a handful of plays has put them in the end zone a couple of times. Bridgeford Jacket, Devontae Perry for touchdowns. Here comes Abe Hoskins. His father, great athlete. Abe Hoskins III is the son. His dad, who also attended Omaha Central, great football and track athlete, committed to Nebraska, ended up at Purdue. And son completes a pass to the big tight end, Dylan Baker. And that'll be for a first down. So a nice little zip on the ball from the right-handed throwing Hoskins. His dad, great speedster, committed to Nebraska, went to Purdue, ended up at Tulsa, where he played wide receiver. His quarterback at Tulsa, Gus Frerotte.
How about that?
Was in the NFL. His mom was a fabulous track athlete at Nebraska, Denise. And another big chunk play pickup for Bridgeford Jacket.
You know, Gus Frerotte got his break in the NFL with my favorite team. Take a look at the last run. Bridgeford Jacket, just a nice little cutback right there up the middle. A good block by the tight end to create that space. Reading of the blocks by the senior tailback, but Gus Frerotte probably more notably than any of the plays he made on the field was the one he made off the field. He rammed his head into the end zone at RFK.
Hoskins tried to hand it off to Lathan. He didn't see it. Loose ball on the field. Hoskins picks it up and sprints into the end zone for a touchdown. Miscommunication to the backfield. And what does Hoskins do? That athleticism and the awareness took over. He just picked it up and immediately headed for the goal line, and he is in to make it 20-0.
Yep, 4th rushing touchdown on the season for Hoskins. Just a miscommunication.
Yeah, I don't think they drew that up in the week leading up to this game for Central.
Amarion Lathan looked like he didn't even know that it was supposed to be a handoff. He was not ready to take it at all. Hoskins says, okay, I'll do it myself.
Central benefits from the 3rd straight short field, and they put it in the end zone, and they lead 21-0 with under a minute to go here in the first quarter.
But how about this? Hoskins last season ran for 206 yards on the year. He had 205 yards coming into game 4 in this season. He was the starting quarterback last year too. And now with that run right there, he's already outpaced his production on the ground through 3 games and 1 quarter.
In their week 2 loss to Prep, he had 251 yards of total offense and a couple of scores. He is, again, as John aptly described in his story online on YurView.com, a first-class individual, and leads the scoring drive. Another short one, 3 plays, 31 yards, 21-0 in favor of Central.
Back receivers there for the 5-5 number 7, Quentin Stewart. Kicking off for the Eagles, number 20,
Aiden Burke watches the ball off the tee. Again, he's got the wind at his back. He could kick this to Sarpy County. And Bryan, once again, for the 4th time on offense, will start at their own 20-yard line. We talked about Ryan Hansen, the new head coach of Bryan. They have a new athletic director, Ryan Murtaugh, who I think that guy right there, Ryan Hansen, would like to sneak him into the lineup. Ryan Murtaugh was a great high school football player here in Omaha at Omaha Creighton Prep. His father, Jerry, played football at Nebraska. Ryan walked on at Nebraska and then eventually ended up at Missouri, was a really good college player, got into high school administration with the Omaha Public Schools, and now is the athletic director here at Bryan, and is very excited about the future of Bryan athletics and what this school can do. There's another short yardage pickup. John Black on the carry.
Well, it would just be nice at this point, Gary, to see Bryan pick up a 1st down. Just to have a little bit of success, get out of their own end a little bit, and then see what, you know, if the defense can come up with something. It's a little bit longer field because it's been really short fields for Central right now, and then this team has just had their back against the wall really from the opening kickoff.
This will be the last play of the first quarter, and then they'll have the wind at their back, down 21-0. And a timeout is taken by Bryan. One of the well-known alums from Bryan. Terrence Bud Crawford, championship boxer, who has won over the hearts and minds of sports fans in this area. And you see, this is a learning lesson. We are on the 20th of September. Ryan Hansen was hired on the 4th of August, and we even saw this during warm-ups. He is still in full teaching mode. He understands what he's getting into, and he's asking players in the football program to do things that they probably have not been asked before. But he said it's all a process. So you can see here, this is something you don't usually see week number 4. He's got all of his offensive players surrounding him on a knee, and he is coaching hard. And he said coaching with love. We, not me, has been the focal point since he took over here. He's got the full attention of the players that are in his program. And he was an assistant at Burke for the last couple of years. Burke is the defending Class A champion. The array of talent that they have had. So again, the final play of the first quarter, 2nd down and 8. Paquette runs into the back of one of his blockers and will lose maybe 1.5 yards, and that'll take us to the end of the first quarter, where Central trying to get to 500 on the season. In week 4, they lead 21-0 over Bryan. It's game time on YurView.
Not getting into college with this score.
I'm that score. The reason they're stressed he's not getting into her dream college.
Another practice test.
Doesn't matter. I'll never be ready.
Ready? It's only the biggest test of her life.
When test prep stress takes over, Huntington can help. Huntington Learning Center helps students of all ages build the skills, confidence, and motivation to improve grades and test scores through personalized attention and proven results.
I got it.
Reject the stress. Call 1-800-CAN-LEARN now.
Smart is selling your home with FSBO Homes. The Home Transparency Report helped me sell my home faster and at a fair price. Buyers walked through my home online using the 3D virtual open house. So I had fewer private showings, and I accepted an offer with the tap of a finger. Let's make this sale official. All the service without the commission. It's the smart way to buy and sell a home.
Football's back, so it's time for a Hog Wild tailgate pack. Includes 2 racks of ribs, our slow smoked meats, your choice of sides, plus cookies and buns. Pick up a pack at a Hog Wild near you.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Hog Wild custom catering for any size event. Check out our catering menu at gohogwild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
What a great shot and a beautiful evening of football here at Bryan High School. As we get set for the start of the second quarter, and it'll begin with a penalty. Tomorrow, one of the biggest games of the non-conference in college football will be number 7 Notre Dame and number 3 Georgia. It's this week on YurView's High School Football Recruiting Podcast, Over the Middle. Jeremy Crabtree, joined by Pete Sampson of The Athletic, to analyze Notre Dame's unique recruiting approach in Georgia and how this game is dripping with recruiting ramifications for the Fighting Irish. Also, they'll break down 5-star USC commitment Bryce Young's performance against 2nd-ranked St. Francis and talk about the highly anticipated battle between Arizona rivals Seguro and Chaparral Friday night on YurView Arizona and YurView.com. All that and more on this week's episode of the Over the Middle podcast.
Gary, I can tell you're not familiar with the Arizona high schools, especially in the Phoenix area. Because that's Chaparral.
And that is an interception. Christian Simmons returns it for a touchdown. Right into the waiting arms. He knocked it up in the air, put his paws on it, and headed for the end zone, and it's 27-0 Central.
Well, let's have another look here, see exactly what happens. Well, hits him in the face mask first. Simmons bounces right off his face and then into his awaiting arms. And it's a defensive score now for Central, and boy, it's coming fast and furious, isn't it? Central just in total control.
And it is now 28-0. In the Metro going on right now, a game that started in the late afternoon between Omaha North and Omaha Burke. It is 27-24. Omaha North leads Omaha Burke with about 4 minutes to go in that game. And a game in which we expected a lot of offense. Bellevue West 16-7 over Elkhorn South with a minute to go in the first quarter. And speaking of offense, Ryan Hansen now has to find a way, down 4 scores, 12 seconds into the second quarter. And here's a look at the pick 6 by senior Christian Simmons from his linebacker spot.
Yeah, I don't think Wingender ever saw the middle linebacker standing there. Simmons was just in the right spot, right time. Almost didn't make the catch, almost let it bounce off his face mask. Collect it, truck it in for the touchdown.
Aiden Burke will kick off, and this one without the wind at his back is a short kickoff and returned. This will be the best field position of the game. Quavis Stewart, junior. And at the 26-yard line, again, this is the best field position for Bryan. They have started every drive at the 20. And only one time of their drives they have gotten past the 20. So down 4 scores. Again, a whole learning process for the Bryan Bears. 0-3 on the season. They played South Sioux City, South, and Northeast. And Central will take a timeout. They did not have the right personnel on the field. 28-0. Central leads Bryan here in the second quarter. It's game time on YurView.
You're watching Game Time on YurView. For more in-depth coverage of the top players around, recruiting updates, behind-the-scenes access, and more, check out YurView.com.
Shop Woodhouse today during the Jeep Adventure Days event at Woodhouse Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Blair. Get an all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee today for up to $9,000 off MSRP. The Grand Cherokee leads with confidence, exuding strength from every angle and taking the road in premium style. Check out our whole new Jeep lineup and offers at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com or come out and see us for a test drive just 15 miles outside of Omaha. Woodhouse, where we make it easy to get on the road faster.
Tonight's Game Time keys to the game are brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. For more high school action, be sure to check out YurView.com.
Ryan Hansen, new head coach of Bryan. He's not even been here for 2 months. So he's still getting to know some of the players in the program's names. A direct snap to Tyler Moore, and that goes nowhere. The interior of the Central line, that's a big bodies up front. As you see, guys that enjoy post-game meals. Jake Frizzell. We had Caden Reynolds in there as well, and Larry Moreland. So you talked about Bryan being young. You look up and down Jay Landstrom's roster for Central. There are a lot of 9s and 10s under the year category.
No, certainly, and you know, what Coach Landstrom's trying to do is definitely build for the future. He talked a lot about, you know, wanting to return Central to being a football powerhouse in Class A.
Christian Dump with the tackle. Also Christian Simmons, who has a pick 6, combined to stop Poquette. And it'll be 3rd down and long.
There's that big body in the middle, Jake Frizzell, 6'3", 290. One of the seniors on this team. The one thing that Central does have, Gary, is athletes. They have plenty of athletic body types and guys who know how to move in space. Maybe don't have, you know, knowledge, experience, and that killer instinct just yet, but they certainly have the athletes.
One thing this program went through after Jay Ball retired a few years back is they had a lot of those athletes, John, that were football players that were just walking the hallways and were not playing football. As well, another fourth down coming for the Bryan Bears. And Jay Landstrom, who has been part of the fabric of Central High School, he's also an assistant for Eric Behrens and the great Central boys basketball program. So he did a lot of recruiting inside of his own hallways. And their numbers are up. You can see their 9th and 10th graders coming out. As you get a good look at Jay, now in his second year as the head coach. He was on the staff with Lance Griffin, who was a Central alum a couple years ago when Central went 0-9. And this punt is blocked. John, you like to bring out the bingo card? We're getting close.
We're getting there. We've got interception, return for touchdown, quick kicks, punt block. We'll take another look at it again. Bryan going with the quick kick, and it's just right over the top. I think it was the big fella, Frizzell, in the middle. We got a big paw up there.
Like Dylan Baker. Might have been the first to touch it. Another short field. 28-0 in favor of Central. And Hoskins is going to put it up. Plenty of time, looking, running. This is dangerous if you're Bryan. And Hoskins is in the end zone.
He had a receiver too, Gary. On the outside, Rickley was open. He was all alone in the end zone, and Hoskins just pulled it down and ran it in himself.
I mean, this is... South Dakota State has gotten a steal in Abe Hoskins.
Well, South Dakota State's a good program. They're, you know, good football team. They've jumped up and almost bit a couple of FBS opponents in the last couple of years. Hoskins is going to fit in nicely up there, I think.
Yeah, mom and dad, they were speedsters in high school. And their son, Abe Hoskins III, he has got wheels to burn, and there is a flag, and they roughing the kicker. Now 35-0 in favor of Central. There you go. Add that on your bingo card.
Roughing the kicker, something we haven't even seen yet this year. Take a look here. See if we can get a look at what happens.
And
there it is. It's a lot of inexperience, Gary. Hey, learning,
wow,
every day for Bryan. And
now they're on there. Now, I understand there was a bump. We'll have to look what Sam Levy, the kicker for Central. he's only a junior. Now, he's got to be in the theater department at Central.
No, he plays soccer.
He embellished it here a little bit. Okay, let's look at this. I understand that coming up, John Black gives him a little bump, but you judge at home. Well, let's see. Okay, so he goes down. Got to sell it, got to sell it, got to sell it. Up, end over end. Then the flag is coming, and yes.
He's either destined for a career in the NBA or the MLS.
The judges in the truck have given Sam Levy a 9.6, 9.5, and must be a judge that is not from Omaha, an 8.4. So after the penalty, now Aiden Burke will kick off from his own 45.
But I'm going to have to disagree with the truck, Gary, because he didn't really stick the landing. That last flip was only half completed. It's an 8-6 for me.
Number 1 team in the state, Bellevue West, up 22-7. Halfway through the second quarter. North and Burke are coming down to the final seconds. Give you a score update in just a moment from that game. Squib kick by Burke. And it is a free ball. Only tracked down back at the 1-yard line as Stewart scrambled to get on it. And Bryan will start this possession down 35-0 with a running clock. It stops with 8:40 to go in the first half.
A first down, Gary. That's what we're looking for from Bryan right here. Get a first down, something successful.
Another wild finish at Burke Stadium. Tell you about what just happened between Burke and North. So last night at Burke Stadium, between Creighton Prep and Millard North led by 3 scores with 13 minutes to go, trying to win their first game of the year. We have seen Millard North a couple of times. And Creighton Prep comes back to win 31-30, scoring the game-winning touchdown with 5 seconds to go. And we'll see Prep next week in their rivalry game with Westside. It'll be a top 10 matchup. Prep has got 3 of their 4 victories are by 4 points or less. That happened at Burke Stadium last night. Late this afternoon, now into the evening at Burke, between Burke and North. North tried an intentional safety at the end of the game. They botched it. They fumbled. Burke recovered. Jalen Roussel scores from the 6-yard line on the next play, and right now with under a minute to go, Burke has come from behind and they lead 31-27.
Whoa. That tried the intentional safety and couldn't pull it off.
And North had some late game meltdown against Prep in the opening week of the season.
Hey, we know Bellevue West is real good, and we've seen Millard South, and we think they're pretty good. But after those 2 teams, Gary, it's kind of wide open.
We'll look at the top 10 later on tonight from Bryan, where it is another 3rd down and long for the Bears, still looking for their first down, down 35-0. And a low snap. And the pass is intercepted once again by Christian Simmons. Caught it, got a foot down. And Central will have another short field to work.
I think Wingender had a receiver. He had a man down there who was open. He just short-armed to throw a little bit. And Simmons was right there to undercut the pass. It sets up this Central offense just inside the 20. I mean, I know that it's been a lot of mistakes for Bryan, but you have to give credit to Central. They've taken advantage of everything. They haven't squandered a single opportunity to make a play yet.
So 35-0. Hoskins just coming off a touchdown run on a scramble in the backfield. Little toss to Bridgeford Jacket, and then he takes off, and he's into the end zone for his 2nd score tonight.
Another 1-play drive from Central, and Bridgeford Jacket making it look easy. Watch this little cutback. Bye-bye. Make it 6.
He was somebody that was talked about before the season began. He's got 5 touchdowns now on the season as Levy is out for the PAT, and it is 42-0 Central. 7:24 to go in the first half. Central has taken advantage. 2 interceptions by Simmons have ended with 2 scores.
Another bad grade?
I miss little grades and the square root of her biggest problem.
I studied all week.
I miss poor study skills. I stress beyond her comprehension.
We can't keep having this conversation.
It's not like I want to fail.
When low grades follow you home, Huntington can help. Huntington Learning Center helps students of all ages build the skills, confidence, and motivation to improve grades and test scores through personalized attention and proven results. Keep low grades out. Call 1-800-CAN-LEARN now.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Football's back, so it's time for a Hog Wild tailgate pack. Includes 2 racks of ribs, our slow smoked meats, your choice of sides, plus cookies and buns. Pick up a pack at a Hog Wild near you.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Hog Wild custom catering for any size event. Check out our catering menu at gohogwild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Well, with John Schreiner, I'm Gary Sharp, and our entire Game Time crew at the beautiful Bryan Football Stadium. Central has jumped out to a 42-0 lead. Game Time high school football on this Friday night on YurView, presented by Iowa Western. The world is waiting. And a touchback. This was mishandled at the 1-yard line by Tyler Moore. Here's the interception from Christian Simmons, his second of the night.
Yeah, and I think watching here, it's another bad snap. Wingander, escaping traffic, has a man down there. Receiver's open. Just couldn't quite get enough on it, and Simmons is right there.
And here's another touchdown from Bridgeford Jacket.
Yeah, it's a little toss play once again. Bridgeford Jacket. See him using the eyes, finds the crease, makes the safety miss on his way for another 6, and good blocking downfield. One of the wide receivers, Marion Lathan, had the cornerback pushed all the way into the back of the end zone.
So there's the young quarterback who is riding the learning curve, down 42-0. And negative yardage play as Tyler Moore is gobbled up. Omaha Bryan, named after William Jennings Bryan. So this is where John is going to tell you everything about the Nebraska politician that Bryan High School is named after.
William Jennings Bryan, tremendous orator. He was a great public speaker, ran for president, didn't quite get the win, but has a lot of things in this state and in this city named after him. There's your William Jennings Bryan brief history lesson.
Central is not named after anybody, Mr. or Mrs. Central, if you are wondering at home. So 2nd down and 11. Busy night of high school football around the Metro. We'll run through the scoreboard here in a moment. Snap back to Moore. He picks it up and gets back to the 20-yard line.
Although that may be true, Gary, I think we might get into the debate at halftime of who is Mr. and Mrs. Central.
Well, one of the most recognizable alums of Omaha Central is none other than Warren Buffett, who still is actively involved in Omaha Central, the high school.
Certainly.
The entire Buffett family. Bryan here trying to get their first down of the night. They are without their very talented senior running back, Jalen Walker. That would be definitely an option that Ryan Hansen would utilize tonight against the Central defense. And direct snap of the Wildcat to Moore as he crossed the 20. Slid down to the 23, and it'll be 4th down once again for the Bears. It's 42-0 Central. Central 1-2. Bryan looking for their first victory of the season. Non-district game. Bryan is in a district with Millard West, Lincoln North Star, Lincoln East, and Grand Island. And again, this is the whole, it's all about the process. If you believe in the process, and Bryan's coaches, you don't see this. This is week 4 of the season, but they kind of have to start over and teaching in game. Ryan Hansen is fortunate enough, he has a staff that they understand what they're getting into, and they've got a pretty good buy-in from the players. And Central is drawn offside.
Just about the first mistake the Eagles have made tonight. Got drawn offside, trying to get in there and block another kick. All right, we got another entrant into the Mr. Central contest. There's 1987 Central graduate, YurView cameraman Mike Kranak, Says he wants to be pitted up against Warren Buffett, Amon Green, and some others for the title of Mr. Central. Well, Mike, you're the only one currently on TV.
So 4th down now, and a couple of yards, and more on 4th down. He's going to get a first down and much more. Across midfield on 4th and short after the penalty. The direct snap to Moore. He's not the punter. And he took off with a burst and has the first down of the night for Bryan. This is Tyler Moore, who early this year in the opener had a 60-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Broke a tackle, sprinted into the secondary before he was bumped from behind by Dion Davis. First time Bryan's got a first down, first time they've crossed midfield.
I love it. You got nothing to lose. You've been running the quick kick all night. Defense is super aggressive. Why not? Fake it.
Ryan Hansen with a positive play. He takes the timeout as John Black comes off the field to be attended to. 4:17 to go in the first half. Central with a 42-0 lead.
Well, we're going to take another peek at that fake punt that was run just a moment ago. Little direct snap. Good blocking up front, and then running through an arm tackle. Tyler Moore. It's pretty impressive. And it could have gone down, could have been tackled easy there, but just lowered the shoulder, kept the legs driving, ran through the arm tackle, picked up a big gain. Bears with a chance to flip the field at the very least right here, Gary.
Yeah, this would be a positive. Again, they're without Jalen Walker, the top running back, but Tyler Moore, who is a junior, can do it out of the backfield or catching the ball. Split out. Ryan Hansen uses this as another teaching period, and he'll send his team back out there. Central in a district with #1 Bellevue West and the 3-0 South Packers, which that has not happened for a while. A school that is a dominant boys soccer program here in Omaha. The South High Packers are 3-0 in football. Miscommunication, and Moore is hauled down for a loss. Omaha Bryan, their boys soccer program has improved and is competing for state tournament berths. We have a matchup tonight in the Metro. #1 Bellevue West and #4 Elkhorn South. Last check, T-Birds #1 in the state. In Class A, 22-7. Millard West leads Millard South. A 2-versus-3 game, 14-7 at Buell Stadium. More in motion. It'll be 3rd down.
Third downs have been a bit of an adventure. I've seen a couple interceptions, one returned for a touchdown, one that set up a touchdown run. We'll see if Wingener can get something going through the air here. Had an open receiver last time they attempted a pass, but just didn't put it out there quite far enough.
Update from Bellevue West. Xavier Betts, who is a Nebraska commitment, having another big night. It is now 29-7. Bellevue West leads Elkhorn South. We'll see Elkhorn South in a couple of weeks in a big game at home against West Side. The pass is completed. Moore had the pass up near his shoulder, was able to haul it in.
Yeah, just a quick little pop pass to the wing, sort of H-back spot there. Just gets across the face of his defender. That's a good throw by Wingender right there. Reading the coverage, seeing that his man has position on the inside, releases the ball quick. Good catch. by Moore. Bryant's maybe starting to find a little something.
That's just 2 first downs on this drive for the Bears. They have found Tyler Moore, who comes out of the game. Good to see John Black back in on that 4th down run by Moore. They got the first down for the Bears. Black was injured. He is back in there. It's 1st down and 10 for the Bears. Down 42-0 as we near the end of the first half. Stats analysis, highlights, and more. And at some point, because he teased it last week, my partner John Schreiner will give an update on the popcorn here at Bryan High.
Oh, you're getting a full review.
Poquette runs into 1, 2, 3, 4 Central Eagles. And he'll be pushed back for a loss of a couple of yards. Jalen Corner led the Eagles.
There you go. I mean, that's just a wall of purple and white right there. There is nowhere to go. When the defensive line's playing 2 yards into the backfield at the snap of the ball, I don't care which running back it is. It's going to be tough.
His defense is giving up about 260 yards per game. The Central defense. 2nd down and 13. Moore is back in the game. Moore just standing out in the flat, catches the pass. Now he's got to work his magic. And he's not able to do it against 5 white jerseys.
I wonder if Bryan wants to think about taking a timeout here. It's their best field position of the game. And the clock is going to be running full time once we hit the second half. So it's been their best opportunity to score.
Ryan Hansen, couple-of-month head coach of Bryan. One of 3 new head coaches in Class A. We saw Tim Williams with Pela Vista a couple of weeks ago. And this pass is incomplete. Are they gonna call it backwards pass? It was recovered by Bryan. While that's going on, the clock here in the first half runs out. And Central will go to the locker room with a 42-0 lead and a second half that'll begin with a running clock and more teaching for the head coach with his young Bryan Bears. Halftime is here from Bryan on this Friday night. Lots coming up on halftime from Bryan, including a visit with the new Wellness Center Director at Iowa Western, Chad Ellsworth. 42-0 Central leads Bryan. It's game time on YurView.
Change it up, okay? Catch him off guard. Get in the trench. Do what you do.
To the 30, to the 20. Battling his way to the end zone. Nobody can stop him. Down the sideline. Nobody's going to catch him.
Game Time High School Football is brought to you by Iowa Western. The world is waiting.
Smart is selling your home with FSBO Homes. The Home Transparency Report helped me sell my home faster and at a fair price. Buyers walked through my home online using the 3D virtual open house. So I had fewer private showings And I accepted an offer with the tap of a finger. Let's make this sale official. All the service without the commission. It's the smart way to buy and sell a home.
You're watching Game Time on YurView. For more in-depth coverage of the top players around, recruiting updates, behind-the-scenes access, and more, check out YurView.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Hog Wild custom catering for any size event. Check out our catering menu at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Welcome back to halftime of the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. I'm Gary Sharp, joined by the director of the Wellness Center here at Iowa Western, Chad Ellsworth. We are inside of the brand new, beautiful Dr. John and Jean Marshall Center, and 92,000 square feet that you're in charge of. Tell us a little bit about this brand new facility.
Yeah, it's exciting, of course. Students are just knocking down the door to get in, right? Of course, we got 2 basketball courts, this beautiful turf complex, which helps with our athletic teams, but students will get to come in and play too. Cardio strength, everything we need to emphasize health and well-being here at Iowa Western. And we're excited to get into it.
You have a background, you were at Arizona State, you were at Texas Tech, and you're an Iowan from the Harlan area, so you're kind of back home. You've been at places where facilities like this for the student population is so important. What does this do for this campus?
Oh, it's a game changer. It really is. To be able to have a platform like this, to engage students, to have something for them to do almost 24 hours a day, whether it's play, competition, challenging yourself individually on our cardio and weight equipment. It's just to engage students that way, to get them to want to be here and stay on campus and finish their degree, I think that's important for us.
It would seem Iowa Western competes against Iowa State, Iowa, Nebraska. So it would seem like this is one of those things when you bring them on campus, you bring them by this building, and students go, wow, we don't have this at other places, other similar schools around Iowa.
Yeah, and they go to schools that do, and for us not to have it is a liability. Now we're able to recruit, retain our students that come here. Students come on and see this beautiful facility and what they're able to do. It's a fantastic asset for us to have.
As everyone can see behind us, the women's soccer team is practicing in here. The nationally ranked football program gets to be in here as well. What does it do for the athletic side? We talked about how great it is for the students. What about the athletes?
Yeah, so obviously we have weather here. We didn't have so much in Arizona, but here in Iowa we've got weather. And so to have a facility they can come in when we're in that time of year, it certainly helps. To know that it's always here and that they can use it when they have to. And of course, just from a sort of a reputational asset, it's fantastic as well. And the kids love it.
This facility is named after longtime Council Bluffs couple who have been so integral in this university, Dr. John and Jean Marshall. It's Dr. John and Jean Marshall Center. What are some of the other unique things that students will find when they're in here? And it's not just 92,000 square feet, it's other programs that are geared towards them.
Yeah, and Dr. Marshall was really adamant about health and well-being, and particularly being physically active to help the mental side and the emotional part of student well-being. And so for him, I know that's important for him. For us, it's nutrition, it's sleep, it's physical activity, all of those different elements of wellness. This facility gives us a platform to address students in that way. And so it's great. I mean, we'll have intramural sports, we'll have group fitness classes, we'll have self-directed activities. So, I mean, you can tell I'm a little excited about this, right? It's going to be great, and the students are going to love it, and our staff as well.
Well, this is fabulous. When you come on campus, you see this gigantic building, and it's so beautiful inside. Congratulations, and welcome to Iowa Western.
Thank you so much. Good to be here.
That's Chad Ellsworth. He is the director of the Wellness Center. This is the beautiful, brand new addition to Iowa Western, the Dr. John and Jean Marshall Center.
When it's your business, owner is just one of your jobs. Cox Business Security Solutions can help with a customized surveillance and detection system that lets you adjust the temperature while you're picking up flowers for the cafe. An extra set of eyes, confirming tonight's special arrived so you can add it to the board. It's the promise of a good night's sleep, reassuring you everything is in its place and will still be there for whatever your job may be tomorrow.
Shop America's best-selling truck at Woodhouse Ford. Lease a 2019 Ford F-150 STX Super Crew truck for as low as $269 a month for 36 months. 10,000 miles a year, $1,500 down. First payment and $269 doc fee due at signing. Security deposit waived. Lease and drive away in a 2019 Ford EcoSport and for as low as $279 a month plus tax. Built Ford proud. Visit us at one of our 3 locations in Blair, Omaha, and Plattsmouth.
Oh, not getting into college with this score.
I'm that score. The reason they're stressed he's not getting into her dream college.
Another practice test.
Doesn't matter. I'll never be ready.
Ready? It's only the biggest test of her life.
When test prep stress takes over, Huntington can help. Huntington Learning Center helps students of all ages build the skills, confidence, and motivation to improve grades and test scores through personalized attention and proven results.
I got it.
Reject the stress. Call 1-800-CAN-LEARN now.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Football's back, so it's time for a Hog Wild tailgate pack. Includes 2 racks of ribs, our slow-smoked meats, your choice of sides, plus cookies and buns. Pick up a pack at a Hog Wild near you.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Hog Wild custom catering for any size event. Check out our catering menu at gohogwild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Tonight's Game Time Player of the Game is brought to you by Iowa Western. The world is waiting. Check out the stories behind the games all season long. Visit YurView.com.
Halftime in Bryan, Central leads the Bears 42-0. Cox Communications, the largest private telecom company in America, has launched Grand Stories. As part of this month being Grandparents' Day earlier this month, this initiative brings grandparents closer to the grandkids by teaching them how to make stronger connections with the people in their lives who matter most.
Since her grandma's been gone, we don't see that much of each other.
I want Cody to know who I am.
할머니 나 이거 언제 배워줘 그러면서 내가 손녀를 볼 때마다 핸드폰만 보고 있어요. 손녀는
Select profile picture.
Press this. Have you taken a selfie before?
No.
Oh, okay.
손이 떨리고 마음이 떨려서 아무것도 안 돼.
I want to teach you how to do the video part.
Okay.
You're going to click on that.
Now I start.
Oh, well, I got half of me.
Good?
Yeah.
Hello, Jessica.
Hi, Cody.
Cut in.
I worked up enough nerve to ask her if she would dance with me.
오늘은 김치를 만들 겁니다.
This is my Mahjong class that I'm doing today.
I love you so much. I can't wait to talk to you and hear from you soon.
Wow. Love it.
Broadband connectivity is the most powerful when it creates a human connection. And as you can see, Cox is helping to bridge generational communication gaps by inspiring grandparents to explore where their grandkids live on social media. For more grand stories, we ask you to visit cox.com/grandstories. Here at halftime, Central 42, Bryan nothing. Back with some first half analysis after this.
Change it up, okay? Catch him off guard. Get in the trench. Do what you do.
To the 30, to the 20. Battling his way to the end zone. Nobody can stop him. Intercepted down the sideline. Nobody's going to catch him.
Game Time High School Football is brought to you by Iowa Western. The world is waiting.
This is my hometown, and I'm proud of how the community is growing. From big-time attractions to world-class dining and crackling nightlife, there's so much going on. You could miss it if you don't tune in. Go Omaha is a new show on YurView, Cox Channel 1013. We're going to take tours of the best places to shop, eat, take your family, and have fun. Don't miss out. Tune in to Cox Channel 1013 or say Go Omaha into your Contour remote.
Another bad grade?
I miss low grades and the square root of her biggest problem. I studied all week. I miss poor study skills. I stress beyond her comprehension.
We can't keep having this conversation.
It's not like I want to fail.
When low grades follow you home, Huntington can help. Huntington Learning Center helps students of all ages build the skills, confidence, and motivation to improve grades and test scores through personalized attention and proven results. Keep low grades out. Call 1-800-CAN-LEARN now.
The best time to save big on a Nissan truck is now with Nissan Truck Month at Woodhouse Nissan. Find a truck that works as hard as you do. Lease a 2019 CC Nissan Titan SV 4x4 for $299 a month. 36 months, 10,000 miles per year, $3,350 trade equity or down payment. First payment and processing due at signing. Take home a Nissan today from Woodhouse Nissan at one of our 2 convenient locations in Bellevue and at 144th and Giles at Woodhouse Place.
42-0 Central trying to move to 500 in week 4 of the season. They lead the Bryan Bears. Bryan, a work in progress, struggles on offense, and Central has taken advantage of it, putting the ball in the end zone 6 times, one of those being a defensive touchdown. As we get a look at the highlights from the first half, John.
Yeah, what you're going to see is the team in purple and white putting the ball in the end zone a bunch of times. First one came real early. Second one right behind it. This is the one that's a little bit puzzling. Didn't even know it was supposed to be a handoff. Hoskins just picks it right back up. Scoots onto the end zone for his first touchdown. Defense got involved. Pick 6 going back the other way. And then here's Hoskins. Had a receiver, chose to pull it down. Runs it in himself for his second score. And the last one, Bridge for Jacket. Says, okay, Abe, you got 2, I want 2 also. Runs it in himself, and it's all Central through one half of play.
42-0 as the Eagles make their way back onto the field for the second half. That will have a running clock, and here are those stats from a big Central first 24 minutes.
Yeah, and Central hasn't had very far to go. They've had a lot of short fields, so, you know, you may say, wow, 42 points, they have 138 total yards. Well, there's been some punting issues for Bryan and some turnovers, and they've had a lot of short fields.
Simmons with a couple of interceptions, one a pick 6, 42-0. Back with the second half after this. It's game time on YurView.
When it's your business, owner is just one of your jobs. Cox Business Security Solutions can help with a customized surveillance and detection system that lets you adjust the temperature while you're picking up flowers for the cafe. An extra set of eyes confirming tonight's special arrived so you can add it to the board. It's the promise of a good night's sleep, reassuring you everything is in its place and will still be there for whatever your job may be tomorrow.
Shop Woodhouse Lincoln first, where you'll find the all-new 2019 Lincoln Nautilus, helping you explore design and the world around you. With great purchase and lease deals, you'll be sure to find the vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Distinctive design and Lincoln Copilot 360 technology makes Lincoln the perfect choice for you. See all our inventory at WoodhouseLincoln.com or stop in at 66th and Elm in Omaha for a test drive. This is Woodhouse Lincoln.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Football's back, so it's time for a Hog Wild tailgate pack. Includes 2 racks of ribs, our slow smoked meats, your choice of sides, plus cookies and buns. Pick up a pack at a Hog Wild near you.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Hog Wild custom catering for any size event. Check out our catering menu at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
This is my hometown, and I'm proud of how the community is growing. From big-time attractions to world-class dining and crackling nightlife, there's so much going on. You could miss it if you don't tune in. Go Omaha is a new show on YurView, Cox Channel 1013. We're going to take tours of the best places to shop, eat, take your family, and have fun. Don't miss out. Tune in to Cox Channel 1013 or say Go Omaha into your Contour remote.
Tonight's Game Time defensive play of the game is brought to you by Cox Business. Always know what's going on with detection and surveillance products that protect your bottom line and help your business stay ahead of the unexpected.
We get set to start the second half. Then we'll have a running clock. Omaha Central leading Omaha Bryan 42-0. These two schools share something in common. They have a nice list of great running backs. Central has been known as I back you. And where do you start? Well, you start with one of the best, Amon Green, who started Central, went on to Nebraska, won a couple of national championships, and then a nice career in the NFL that included a long stay with the Green Bay Packers. But Amon Green from Omaha Central to Nebraska in the mid-90s, and what a running back he was, John, for not only the Eagles, but the Big Red.
Yeah, Amon Green was one of the first players I remember hearing about when he was still in high school. You know, kind of before the big recruiting era. But Amon Green was a name you knew about when he was still playing high school football.
Yeah, another member of IBAC High for Omaha Central, Calvin Jones, who was a couple years ahead of Amon Green. There were people that would come from all over on Friday nights to watch Central play, and in particular to watch CJ carry the football. He also went on to a stellar career at Nebraska.
Yeah, I can remember Calvin Jones at Nebraska, and I was about 10 years old, and that was my guy, man. Calvin Jones, 4'4", running up and down the field.
And then Omaha Bryan, back in the early 80s, the late Ken Clark, who probably didn't get enough credit for what he did, but he was a stellar running back for the Bryan Bears, and then went on to a very solid career at the University of Nebraska and a brief career in the NFL with the Colts. But Amon Green, Calvin Jones, and Ken Clark all went over 3,000 yards in their high school career. And that's when it was really tough to get over 3,000 yards running the football here in the Metro.
Yeah, three of the absolute best to ever do it at the University of Nebraska came from these two schools. Long tradition, great history between these two football programs.
And thanks to our good friends at the Omaha World Herald, the Lincoln Journal-Star, and the University of Nebraska Athletic Department as we get set for the start of the third quarter. There are more members of the illustrious IBAC High that we'll talk about here in just a moment. Halftime, Millard West leading Millard South 14-7. 29-7, Bellevue West leads Elkhorn South. Next Friday, we have the rivalry game that will be a top 10 showdown between Omaha Creighton Prep and Omaha Westside. Bryan will kick off down 42-0 and a little pooch kick to begin the second half. Diving on it is Malachi Bird. And Central will begin the second half again with a running clock. John, for people that don't know why we have a running clock,
sure,
you are the expert in this.
I'm the rules guy.
Become known on the telecast.
Well, it's a fair competition rule that was instituted by the NSAA. If at any time in the second half of a game one team is leading by 35 or more points, the clock does not stop except for an injury timeout or a timeout called by one of the two teams.
And so as we begin the second half, Caden Leach is the quarterback, and he hands off to Devontae Perry, and Devontae Perry is in a track meet. He's off to the races, runs over a couple of Bears before he's escorted out of bounds inside of the 10-yard line.
Well, we wondered what the offense would do with a little bit of field in front of them, and there's your answer. Pretty much the same story. It's Devontae Perry this time getting between the tackles, Finding a whole lot of room, making a couple of defenders pay downfield.
Perry, who has a touchdown, came in averaging nearly 10 yards per carry. And Central is knocking on the door once again. Just inside of the 10-yard line. So Abe Hoskins III, his night is over at quarterback. Perry's night ends up in the end zone for the second time.
Well, you know what it is, Gary, also, this is a big confidence builder for a Central team that, as we've said a couple of times on the broadcast tonight, they've got a big goal. You know, a team that's won 6 games in the past 3 seasons wants to make it to the playoffs. That was a team goal that they set at the start of this year. And obviously, anytime you can put the ball in the end zone this many times in one game, it's a good feeling. And this team is probably going to ride high off of this for a while.
Perry, who scored the touchdown and realized that he was also supposed to be out there for the PATs, late on the field, doesn't matter. Sam Levy with another extra point, and it's 49-0 Central here in the third quarter.
Schedule your campus visit today. Iowa Western. The world is waiting.
I will give you Sayers.
0. Central leading Bryan, second-year head coach for the Eagles. Jay Ladstrom, who has been on the football staff since 2006 and has his team up big on this Friday night of high school football and week number 4. And Moore, who has been a bright spot offensively for the Bryan Bears, for the kickoff return across the 25 out to the 27-yard line. We were showcasing the running backs from both of these schools that ended up in Nebraska, from Lon Green, Calvin Jones, and Ken Clark from Bryan. And Central, the long list of notable alumni from the downtown high school here in Omaha. Camara Barty, who went on to play baseball at Creighton, member of the College World Series team for the Jays, and now is in the professional baseball.
Those are just the athletes. That's just the list of athletes that came out of Central High School. There are so many more outside of athletics as well.
Now, one of those names that you saw briefly on that list is one of the greatest Chicago Bears of all time, Gale Sayers. Graduate in 1961, Kansas Comet.
He wasn't in our list of running backs who played at Nebraska. Why is that, Gary?
Because he went to Kansas.
Oh, of course.
And that would throw people off if we included a guy that went to Kansas in the list of running backs that went to Nebraska. Sean Prater went on to Iowa. Brandon Williams to Michigan. He now lives in the Dallas area. The ambidextrous pitcher, Pat Venditti, who can throw with his left or right.
Made headlines a few years ago for all the times that switch hitters would try to switch sides of the plate against him, and he would switch back to pitching arms.
Pat, whose family is well known here in the Omaha area. Pat, who has pitched in the majors, was on the AAA championship team from Sacramento in the Pacific Coast League this year. 49-0 running clock here in the third quarter. It has been all Central. As we make a stop at Bryan High, a big thanks to everyone from Bryan High that has opened their arms for our entire Game Time crew. There are some other running backs from IBAC High that did not go to Nebraska, as Moore is hit down right away by Everett. You had Sherman Williams. David Horn, who went to Nebraska, is on the Central staff.
He ended up in Northern Iowa.
Leotis Flowers, who had a nice run at Nebraska. Brandon Gunn. Keith Jones is another Central running back that ended up at Nebraska. Deontay Grigsby, another Central running back that ended up at Nebraska. As you get a look to the right of the down marker, David Horn.
Here's a little known fact, Gary. I went to Australia with Deontay Grigsby. How about that?
Now you're going to have to add some context.
We will, after the punt.
Solid punt, the best punt of the night for Bryan, and this is going to roll all the way inside of the 20. And Stewart is there to down it. So a good punt by Toby Wingender, the sophomore quarterback, and Stewart comes up a little bit lame. He was in a sprint to get to the football, and I hope it's not a hamstring or an ankle. As Central back out up 49-0, the clock running. So we started the second half. All right, I don't know if you have a great relationship with Deontay Grigsby and you thought, hey, let's just go to Australia together, but you have to explain you guys went to Australia to play football together.
All right, so there used to be a football showcase game that was played in Australia called the Down Under Bowl. Do you remember it?
I do.
Yeah, so I was selected for the Down Under Bowl following my senior season in 2000. Deontay Grigsby also selected for the Down Under Bowl. So we were in Australia playing for Team Nebraska for about 8 days. We played a couple games. Joe McMenamin, former Central head football coach, was the coach of that team that went to Australia. So that is my connection to a football player who was much better than I was.
Deontay had a younger brother, Courtney, who ended up playing football at Nebraska. That pipeline from downtown Omaha to downtown Lincoln. It slowed up a bit. Deshaun Neal, who is the half-brother of Abe Hoskins III, he is there. 49-0 Central. They've done a lot of their work on the ground behind the offensive line. And this backup offensive line, they're not missing a beat.
No, still getting a good push up front. Bodies in black shirts littered all over the field as the Eagles reserve squad is still out there eating.
Central, their 2 losses to top 10 opponents. Isaiah Spears around the end, and he is able to get a first down. So Central now deep into their depth chart. And again, here's a look at that Central offensive line.
Getting it done. They've been getting it done all night. I've not had a negative play in this game at all. Running backs have had plenty of room tonight, Gary.
Week 4 of the high school season. Jalen Davis at quarterback. The handoff to Spears. And Spears with a couple of stiff arms before he is brought down, but not before he gets another first down. That's a popular number for Central running backs, number 6. Keith Endzone Jones was number 6.
A few years ago, was Trey Sanders number 6 as well? I think was he 6? Maybe he was 20.
He was another talented Central running back.
Played some JUCO ball after he left Central.
One of the rare penalties of the night, holding on Central.
But it was fun. Those years when it was Trey Sanders and Calvin Strong battling it out for the rushing title in the Metro for about 3 years there. It's a good stretch. We had those two on the same field.
Calvin Strong one night at Seaman Field in downtown Omaha went for over 200 yards on the ground. And here's an opportunity for another big pickup. Deion Davis. There is a flag down and some extra pushing, shoving, a little frustration. Fabian Reed, who has been one of the top defensive players for Bryan. Flag, back-to-back holding calls on the Central Eagles. Central under Jay Ball won a state title in 2007. Haven't been to the playoffs since 2015. Jay Ladstrom right there in your picture. He feels good with where they're headed. He's now into his second year as the head coach. He's been on the staff for a while. And quite simply, from top to bottom, they'll say their goal this year is to get to the playoffs. And you can see he wants to get a lot of experience for his backups, and that's the last thing he wants to see is mistakes when you're up 49-0 with a running clock here in the second half. They will put it up, and another flag comes down in the area of holding once again as Davis completes the pass to Isaiah Simmons.
Now we'll check the penalty.
Dan Flynn, our referee.
And Dan Flynn pointing the way of the Bears.
Next week, Prep and West Side. One of the most hotly contested rivalries in the Metro. It'll be a top 10 matchup.
And that's a defensive hold this time. Take a look at what was happening on the outside here on this throw. Receiver just sits down in the zone. Jumping catch, it's all going to be for naught as the penalty is accepted.
Jalen Davis in at quarterback. Hands it off to Darnell Coles.
It's for a lot of these running backs who might be a little further down the depth chart to get a few carries in tonight. But we've talked about it before, and I think I say it just about every week, Gary. This is how you build a program. These opportunities to play the guys who are down the depth chart and are underclassmen, just to get out there underneath the lights, play against a live opponent. You can't even overstate the value of what this means to building a program for the future.
Northern Illinois commitment, Javon Ducker has scored a touchdown. Bellevue West is up 36-7 as Jalen Davis trying to shake and bake in the backfield. Lost his footing and he goes down. It'll be second down and long. Also the other top four matchup, Dan Sullivan with a long touchdown run, and Millard West has regained the lead. They missed the PAT. They're up 20-14 over Millard South. About 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Here we're nearing the end of the third quarter with a running clock. Central up 49-0. They were up 42-0 at the break.
Man, Millard South, Millard West, that's about got to be a slobber knocker, doesn't it? Those two teams, those two head coaches.
Both those teams 3-0. We'll see Millard South later on. And they take on Creighton Prep. We are through 3 quarters of week 4. Game time football, 49-0. Central leads Bryan.
Oh, not getting into college with this score.
I'm that score. The reason they're stressed, he's not getting into her dream college.
Another practice test.
Doesn't matter. I'll never be ready.
Ready? It's only the biggest test of her life.
When test prep stress takes over, Huntington can help. Huntington Learning Center helps students of all ages build the skills, confidence, and motivation to improve grades and test scores through personalized attention and proven results.
I got it.
Reject the stress. Call 1-800-CAN-LEARN now.
Go hog wild, pit barbecue.
Football's back, so it's time for a Hog Wild tailgate pack. Includes 2 racks of ribs, our slow smoked meats, your choice of sides, plus cookies and buns. Pick up a pack at a Hog Wild near you.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Hog Wild custom catering for any size event. Check out our catering menu at gohogwild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
This is my hometown, and I'm proud of how the community is growing. From big-time attractions to world-class dining and crackling nightlife, there's so much going on. You could miss it if you don't tune in. Go Omaha is a new show on YurView, Cox Channel 1013. We're going to take tours of the best places to shop, eat, take your family, and have fun. Don't miss out. Tune in to Cox Channel 1013 or say Go Omaha into your Contour remote.
Change it up, okay? Catch him off guard. Get in the trench. Do what you do. To the 30, to the 20. Battling his way to the end zone. Nobody can stop him. Down the sideline. Nobody's going to catch him.
Game Time High School Football is brought to you by Iowa Western. The world is waiting.
When it's your business, owner is just one of your jobs. Cox Business Security Solutions can help with a customized surveillance and detection system that lets you adjust the temperature while you're picking up flowers for the cafe. An extra set of eyes confirming tonight's special arrived so you can add it to the board. It's the promise of a good night's sleep, reassuring you everything is in its place and will still be there for whatever your job may be tomorrow.
On a beautiful Friday night for football, we have reached the final quarter. 49-0 Central leads Bryan. I'm Gary Sharp. There's John Schreiner, Frank Reiner, statistician, and the entire Game Time crew. We welcome everyone that has joined us through YurView.com. And don't forget, high school and college football fans, be sure to check out YurView's recruiting podcast. It's Over the Middle, hosted by recruiting guru Jeremy Crabtree. Every week, Jeremy will take you inside the huddle, interviewing players, coaches, and industry insiders in and around college football. This week focuses on Notre Dame's recruiting as the Fighting Irish have a big game tomorrow night against Georgia in Athens. All that and more each week on the Over the Middle podcast on YurView.com. The pass is just off the fingertips of Brody Brown. Also, if you go to YurView.com, you can find our schedule and games around the country available on YurView. And a feature every week. This week, you get to learn more about Abraham Hoskins III. What a great young man for the Central community. Next week, ahead of our game with Prep and Westside, you'll learn more through John Schreiner's interview with Mason Armstead, talented wide receiver for the Junior Jays. Prep and Westside next week, and then we'll be into October. It's already week 5 next week. 49-0.
It's gone fast, huh?
Bryan gets the ball back. And the pass is incomplete. Now we get into district play. Things get a little bit more interesting. Teams start to pay more attention to playoff points.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting watching down the stretch with this Central bunch and see if they can make that goal of getting to the playoffs. You know, like we've talked about, they've got playmakers, they've got athletes. Just can they put it all together for 4 quarters? They stayed real close with Prep, stayed close with Burke for a while, but it's going to be fun to see the growth of this team throughout the season.
Next week, they take on Lincoln High. And Moore trying to get away. He does from the initial tackler before he's brought down for a loss of 3. And the clock is running by more than 35. Clock begin the second half running. So if you're just tuning in and you're wondering, is the clock operator asleep? Not the case. You're tweeting at us at YurView OMA. That's why the clock is running. Some of you may be saying, hey, do you think you could go next door and tell the clock operator maybe to hit the stop button? 49-0, Central leads Bryan.
Could be a record.
And still out there grinding, trying to put something up on the board.
Here's Moore. And Moore got a little bit of space. We have seen him, when they get him in space, he can do something. The blocking broke down before he was hauled down on the play by Champ Krishma.
And here's the swarming defense for Central all night, Gary. This is a little rundown of just what they've done up front. They have shut Bryan down at every turn. There's been no room for these backs to run. They've gotten in on special teams, blocking punts, created some scores of their own, a couple of interceptions. It's been a master class from this defense tonight.
Central began the year with a 53-2 win against Benson. They're up 49-0. Over 4 minutes into the final quarter. Fourth down for the Bears at midfield, and they will take a timeout. We will follow suit, come back with more from Bryan. It's game time on YurView.
Tonight's Game Time defensive play of the game is brought to you by Cox Business Security. Check out the stories behind the games all season long. Visit YurView.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Football's back, so it's time for a Hog Wild tailgate pack. Includes 2 racks of ribs, our slow smoked meats, your choice of sides, plus cookies and buns. Pick up a pack at a Hog Wild near you.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Hog Wild custom catering for any size event. Check out our catering menu at gohogwild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
You're watching Game Time on YurView. For more in-depth coverage of the top players around, recruiting updates, behind-the-scenes access, and more, check out YurView.com.
He's the starting offense.
49-0. Central leads Bryan as the Bears cheerleaders. Now, regardless of the score, they're enjoying their evening. We Not Me is the theme. Ryan Hansen, the new head coach of Bryan, as we have seen throughout the night. Every snap of the football, offensively, defensively, anything on special teams, it's a learning experience for his young team. And this pass is intercepted. Deflected right into the hands. It's going to end up as another pick six. Jaden Bullion. And he makes it 55-0. The deflection was right into his midsection between the twos.
That's the second defensive score of the night for Central. Who needs an offense? Taking interceptions to the house all night long.
Sam Levy is in for another extra point. And it is 56-0 Central as we get a look at the pick six.
Shop Woodhouse Mazda today, where we make your Mazda buying process easy. Come in today and lease a 2019 Mazda CX-5 for only $359 per month. The all-new 2019 Mazda CX-5 comes equipped with premium features, including active driving display that lets you stay focused on the road and get you ready for your next adventure. Stop by our showrooms at 66th and L or our new location at 144th and Giles for your test drive today. And find your new 2019 Mazda CX-5 for your next adventure, delivering selection, service, and confidence. This is Woodhouse Mazda.
Another bad grade? I miss little grades. And the square root of her biggest problem. I studied all week. I miss poor study skills. I stress beyond her comprehension.
We can't keep having this conversation.
It's not like I want to fail.
When low grades follow you home, Huntington can help. Huntington Learning Center helps students of all ages build the skills, confidence, and motivation to improve grades and test scores through personalized attention and proven results. Keep low grades out. Call 1-800-CAN-LEARN now.
Tonight's Game Time defensive play of the game is brought to you by Cox Business Security. Check out the stories behind the games all season long. Visit YurView.com.
Game Time High School football on YurView, brought to you by Iowa Western. This Friday night from Omaha Bryan High School, Iowa Western, the world is waiting. You can connect online with Iowa Western at iwcc.edu or call 800-432-5852. The Reavers tomorrow play host to Garden City Community College. Here it's 56-0 as Central kicks off with a running clock in the fourth quarter. Stewart to return this kick from the 5, and he is stopped out near the 25. So a couple of pick sixes for Central. John, let's take a look at the defensive play of the game, brought to you by Cox Business.
It's the first one. It's the one that bounces right off Simmons' face mask. Recollects himself, says, I'll take that, thank you very much. Sticks it in the end zone for a big touchdown. It's all part of a big first half. That saw Central score 6 times.
2 interceptions tonight for Christian Simmons. Always know what's going on with detection and surveillance products that protect your bottom line and help your business stay ahead of the unexpected. 56-0 in favor of Central. Trying to go to 2-2 on the season. Moore is mowed under by a swarm of white jerseys.
Yeah, Moore's had a rough night back there. Just it's been tough for that Bryan front 5 to handle the defensive line for Central, and Moore has really borne the brunt of it carrying the football.
And again, Bryan is down their best offensive player. Jalen Walker is out of the lineup tonight. At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll have our player of the game. And also, we hope to chat with Jay Landstrom, head coach of Central. Trying to get Central back to the playoffs for the first time since 2015. The pass caught by Moore, and it's a first down. So while Walker has been out of the lineup, Moore has been a positive. He'll feel it in the morning. But again, when they get him in space, good things happen. He ran a good route there and a good pitch and catch.
I love that they're lining him up all over the place, finding ways to get him the ball, too. Line him up in the backfield and hand it off. Line him up in the slot. He runs a slant, finds some space over the middle. Promising player. Just a junior, have one more year in the program, and he'll probably be even better next year with, a winter conditioning and a summer workout with Ryan Hansen, and then a full fall camp. Probably looking at him next year.
As Ryan Hansen teaches this year, he's already looking forward to the winter in the weight room. And then in the spring and the summer, there is no spring football here in Nebraska, but there is more of an organized effort for team camps and some 7-on-7 during the summertime. And he definitely will take advantage of that because he has seen what happened at Burke, where he was an assistant before taking this job back on the 4th of August.
Well, I mean, just go back 6 or 7 years and look at the Burke football team. They were having their own struggles, you know, and they've turned it around, won a state title.
This pass is incomplete. New principal, new athletic director, new head football coach at Bryan. Discussions leading up to this game with the head coach, Ryan Hansen. Again, he stresses, we, not me.
Yeah, and I think, you know, if you're not an optimistic person, you're not going to be a very good coach, right? And I think Ryan Hansen is that. He's optimistic. When we just had a brief word with him before the game, he said, hey, we're doing what we can, and we'll be better off once we get through a winter and a spring.
There's a fumble. Moore had the ball knocked out of his hands after he was stuffed by Everett. And a loose ball on the field turf here at Bryan High is recovered by the Bears. He also fits in really well, and fortunately Moore is down. Ryan Hansen fits in very well with the culture. Terrence O'Donnell, the boys basketball coach here, is one of the most respected coaches in the Metro, and they've had some success on the hardwood for boys basketball as Moore is being attended to. Clock does stop with an injury, 2:23 to go in the game. Central on their way to evening up their mark at 2-2.
Well, take a look now at our player of the game. We have chosen a running back from Omaha Central. He is DeAnthony Bridgeford Jacket. First touchdown of the game. Had a bunch of big carries on the night. 2 touchdowns for Bridgeford Jacket. He was instrumental in everything that this offense was doing. Like he was in open field pretty much all night long, showing off the speed, showing off the wiggle, the cutback ability, and a little bit of power to finish a run.
6 carries, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns, all of that in the first half. For our player of the game, brought to you by Iowa Western, the world is waiting. And again, big thanks to Don Kohler, Greg Carlson, J.J. Davis, and Chad Ellsworth from Iowa Western. We saw at halftime, Chad, the new director of the Wellness Center. Iowa Western, the world is waiting. Millard West now leading Millard South 22-14 in the fourth quarter. We're in the fourth quarter here as we go a shade under 2 minutes with a running clock. And on fourth down, the punt. We'll roll and roll and roll and stop. So a play or two before we talk to Jay Landstrom, who has to be pleased with the effort here tonight, but even more encouraged that he was able to play a lot of guys that got on the bus from Central High and made the trip to Bryan.
Certainly.
Well, that's a rare Jay taking off his hat.
You don't see that too often. You go out and check Jay at practice. He's got the big bucket hat on, keeping the sun off that fair skin.
And he's now the head football coach, and he's an assistant on the basketball staff. Central, which is through one of the best runs ever in boys high school basketball. As Caden Leach takes a knee.
Comprehensive performance from Central here tonight. They did it on offense, they did it on defense, came in, did the necessary, got their second win of the season, even the record. One step closer to that goal of making the playoffs.
Central's going to go to 2-2. Bryan will fall to 0-4. As Leach will take another knee. And in victory formation, Central has 2 wins. 53-2 win over Benson, and now 56-0 here tonight. We will talk to the victorious head coach, Jay Landstrom, after this. As Central downs Bryan, it's game time on YurView as both teams will shake hands at midfield. And And Central's got the pieces. 16 teams make the postseason in Class A. They definitely have a lot more momentum off of a 0-9 season a couple of years ago. Last year 3-6, but now they're 2-2 with Lincoln High up next week.
Yeah, I think they're still going to have to jump up and bite somebody that they shouldn't, you know, you wouldn't think that they should beat. They're going to have to pull an upset, you would think, to get there. But I think they have the potential to do it.
As Jay is about to join us, fixing himself, he's on TV. 56-0 Central over Bryan, and I believe we have the head Eagle joining us. Coach, congratulations on the victory tonight. Business-like effort from your team. Your initial thoughts?
You know, it's always good to win. We took care of business tonight. I was really proud the way our guys came in. Our backups came in the second half and played hard, especially on defense. And offense, we got our backs, some carries. They ran tough. You know, it was a good win, and it's good to get out of here healthy.
Coach, how important are games like this for building a program when you're able to get some of those second-line players in and get them some experience under the lights?
It's real important, and it's fun. You know, football is a game where you do a lot of practicing, not a lot of games, and it's good to get some of those guys in. You know, we had a freshman score tonight, and everybody was excited on that interception at the end, so good for him. And but everybody works hard, and everybody deserves to play, so this is a good morale booster to get these backups in and get them some playing time and some experience.
Your goal and your seniors is to make the playoffs. You're 2-2 coming up on week 5. What do you have to do from here on out to make sure that goal is a reality?
Well, it starts next week. You know, we were at 2-2 last year, and we finished 3-6. But we got Lincoln High coming in for our homecoming game next Friday, and you know that it's a game we want to win, and we need to play well to beat them because they're well coached and they're a good program. So you know it starts next Friday, and we'll see what happens.
Jay, we appreciate your time. Congratulations.
All right, thank you guys. We appreciate your coverage of high school sports.
That's Jay Landstrom, the head Eagle. 56-0 Central over Bryan. Back with more from Bryan after this.
Tonight's Game Time Player of the Game is brought to you by Iowa Western. The world is waiting. Check out the stories behind the games all season long. Visit YurView.com.
Smart is selling your home with FSBO Homes. The Home Transparency Report helped me sell my home faster and at a fair price. Buyers walked through my home online using the 3D virtual open house. So I had fewer private showings. And I accepted an offer with the tap of a finger. Let's make this sale official.
All the service without the commission. It's the smart way to buy and sell a home.
You're watching Game Time on YurView. For more in-depth coverage of the top players around, recruiting updates, behind-the-scenes access, and more, check out YurView.com.
$56-0 Central improves to 2-2 through 4 weeks of the high school season. They did it early. They did it often. They were thorough, businesslike, got in, got out, and most importantly, as Jay Landstrom told us, John, they got out of here with no injuries.
Hey, score 56 points, play the backups, no injuries. I don't think you could ask for much more.
Yeah, and they have some explosive skill players, as you'll see here, as they scored early and often. 42 points in the first half.
Yeah, Abe Hoskins directing that offense, got in the end zone a couple times himself. This was a nice little fake punt play that Bryan pulled off in the second quarter. They were unable to convert anything on that drive. The defense was active for Central tonight. Christian Simmons, one of his 2 interceptions. That one goes for a touchdown. Our player of the game was D'Anthony Jacket, excuse me. He took that one in, one of his 2 touchdowns on the night. Here's the second interception from Simmons. And it was just all Central. I mean, there's not much else you can say. They were dominant in all 3 phases of the game. They got the running clock started when the second half whistle blew. Pretty thorough.
And the Central fans and players will head home victorious. Another part of the process for Bryan. As you get a look at the numbers, and you would expect in a 56-0 game. It was all Central tonight.
Yeah, there's not much in there that you look at the score line and look at the stats, and you kind of know the story of the game.
Central now 2-2. Bryan falls to 0-4. We move to the rivalry game. Next week, it's homecoming at Westside against their #1 rival. Top 10 matchup. On Game Time, it'll be Omaha Creighton Prep against Omaha Westside. Big thanks to our statistician, Frank Ryan, for our entire crew. John Schreiner, Gary Sharp, 56-0. Central over Bryan. We're back with you for Prep Westside next week on Game Time. Good night, everybody.
Game Time high school football action on YurView is presented by Iowa Western. The world is waiting. Connect online with Iowa Western at iwcc.edu or call 800-432-5852. High school football fans, for more behind-the-scenes coverage, podcasts, interviews, and more, be sure to check out YurView.com all fall long.